I did want to talk about the dislike restorer extension. So you guys might have noticed that YouTube removed full API access to their dislike counter on, I believe it was the 12th, which means that any new videos do not have an actual reported by YouTube dislike counter. However, if you've got the dislike restorer extension, you might have noticed that you didn't notice anything. That's because over the last, since YouTube made the announcement, apparently something like 5 billion videos dislike counters were backed up and are still accessible through the extension, so that if I were to click on something like this, is this Sacha Baron Cohen? What's this character? Bruno character. I could see that the like-dislike ratio on this video is actually very good and is probably quality because it's Sacha Baron Cohen, which I know already because it's Sacha Baron Cohen. But also, it's got a 99% like-dislike ratio, which, to be clear, is not the only signal that you should look at. But if it's got 4.7 million views, it has a high like-to-view ratio, and has a high like-to-dislike ratio, it probably saves me the trouble of scrolling down to the comment section to see a possibly curated comment section and try to sift through that to figure out if the video is worth my 1 minute and 36 seconds or not. And what's really cool is they are actually using what little they have of publicly available cues to attempt to keep some semblance of a dislike counter along with some kind of hopefully indicator of its hopefully accuracy based on users of the extension disliking it. So between users of the extension using it, things like to view ratios, hopefully in the future at some point, they could also examine comment sentiment or look for comments with tons of upvotes that are like dislike, in order to restore dislike functionality. So I don't typically come out and endorse a browser extension because the thing about browser extensions is that they could be doing all kinds of nefarious tracking. Especially if they're monitoring your YouTube watch history. Think about how valuable that data is to Google. You think it's not valuable to someone else? So I'm not going to endorse it. But I will tell you guys that I intend to use it.
Me too.
So, yeah. Cool.
And I feel the same way about browser extensions. But yeah, definitely. And YouTube, in my opinion, is way, astronomically less usable without it. My satisfaction with using YouTube went up astronomically after installing the extension.
And I know that this dislike counter is not going to be completely accurate. But I didn't use it as some kind of the God's honest truth, the quality of the video. That's not how I used it.
Indication.
I used it as an indicator. And so if it's at least accurate enough to give me some indication, then honestly, it's as useful as the dislike counter ever was anyway. And I am so far pretty pleased with it. Here's an MKBHD video that's behind the scenes of the blind smartphone camera test on the studio kind of behind the scenes channel with a 2200 to 15 like to dislike ratio. You know what? That's probably about right. Probably. Might end up with a few more because you never know. Someone might be a big fan of some phone that Marquez was like, actually, I didn't think this one was that great.
Sure.
Or whatever, right? I haven't watched the video, so I don't know exactly how the thing went down or what someone might get butthurt about. But Marquez almost never dips into 95% like-dislike ratio territory. So if it indicated something like that, I'd watch the video. I'd go in, I'd watch, I'd be like, okay, what's going on here? Did he do something hyper offensive? Like, did he, do a sponsored video for not a Tesla again or something like that? Like, that was a time that his community reacted quite strongly to a video that he made. It's one of the only examples I can think of. So I'd be looking for something really unusual. And if there wasn't something like that, then I would look at this and I'd go, okay, this is probably not working. But this looks about right. He's got a community that is dialed in. And generally speaking, the quality of the content is, well, it's the reason that these guys are dialed in, right? So this passes my sniff test anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, return, there's a bunch of different ones, but return YouTube dislike or return to YouTubeDislike.com, their source is up on GitHub. So
okay. So return YouTube dislike
cool.
is the one that I'm using.
Yeah, yeah. That is, as far as my understanding goes, the main one, and you can see all their source. It's all FOSS. Everything's all good.
And if we get enough people using it, then we will actually have, and if we actively engage with the like and dislike buttons, which is something that I've actually never really been motivated to do before.
I do it now.
But if we actively engage with the like and dislike buttons, and we all use this extension, which I am not endorsing, then we basically have all the same functionality that we had before, and YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. Like,
yeah. I actively dislike things significantly more now than I did in the past, and creators are getting that information.
Yep.
So, neato.
So everyone wins, I guess.
Neato.
I wonder how many downloads this extension has.
Millions.
Yeah, I would think so.
I know it's million plus. I think for extensions it stops counting there.
Okay.
I'm not certain.
Well, here, let's find like a let's search like BTT, Better Twitch TV. Oh man, Better Twitch. Okay, why can I not?
I got
find
it up
this?
already. It says 4 million plus, so there's more for that.
Okay, we're on your screen. 4 million plus. Okay, so oh wait, your screen capture is not working. Well, we're sitting in the dark. Cool.
Well, it says 4 million plus users on Better TTV, and then if I go back to
Rising from the Ashes says it won't work on mobile though. That's what YouTube's pushing. I mean, that's fair enough. Yeah, at least if I mean, really, I think when I'm just browsing on mobile is not when it matters to me as much.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it does. Like a lot of the time I'll be trying to follow like a repair guide or something like that on my phone, and I'll like have it next to me. So no,
Personally,
I shouldn't say that. It's okay. It still sucks.
It does.
It still sucks. And if YouTube could just do their job, then that would be better.
Yes.
But if someone else can't do their job as well, but at least makes it so that I can go run to my desktop or my laptop
Pretty
and
darn cool.
figure out what video I'm going to watch on my phone, load it up on my phone, and then go do it. Like, fine, at least there's a workaround that I shouldn't need, but that I have.
It would be possible. Oh my goodness. That would be horrible. There's a way. It would suck, but there's a way that you could make it work. 100%.
Well, other than like remoting into a desktop, like
no, you could. So, yeah, this would be horrible. You could have like a screen recorder that watches your screen and reads the title, and then normalizes titles, and like puts information on top.
Man,
of
that's an app that would have some scary permissions.
Oh yeah,
you'd have to literally be watching your whole screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't think a lot of people.
You could
wanna
like
install that
you
app.
could have it so that you open YouTube through that app. So when you press that app, it opens up YouTube and turns the screen recorder on, so that it's not always there. It's like a rough idea. All I'm saying is it could work. Sorry, I just punched the mic. Yeah. I have a bit of a weird use case, but I often don't trust the random guide for doing whatever I want to do on YouTube right away, even with dislikes showing. So I'll usually browse as quickly as I can on my desktop and then find the one I want to watch and then open it on my phone and go. So personally, it works pretty well for me, but I realize not everyone does it that way.